I can see this man running hard.
Oh yeah.
In a Gator uniform, that's for sure. And he's the guy that may have a legacy coming soon as well. Ernest,
How you doing?
Ernest, Leon Searcy, Matt Hayes, Joe C.
What's up,
yeah,
man? Hey, good
yeah.
to see you, man.
Congratulations, man, on being inducted into the Game Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, folks.
Tell us a little bit about what it was like to be up there. Were you a little nervous as far as your acceptance speech?
Always, man. You know what? First and foremost, I'm just, floored to be, even considered. You know what I mean? To be, to be in the hall. I mean, when you go back and you just look at how many great players that are part of both teams and both programs, some of the, legendary games that are part of this series, man. To be inducted into a Hall of Fame for this game is humbling.
So I asked Joe this, Ernest, and I want to get your thoughts on it as well. You're running out of the stadium in this game, and just the overall feeling of, wow, this environment, this game, this intensity. Clearly it was a huge game for you guys. What's that like as a player?
It's a game like this is pretty unique, and just to be in the SEC and travel and play and the different stadiums, this game really does stand out. You know what I mean? Both just from the visual aspect, like Terrence said when he was up there, you're looking at both sides, split. You're on a neutral turf. Obviously, for us both, being kind of, in the top, at the top of the SEC. It's just so many unique elements that make this game, great. And when you come out, that experience is like none other.
Now, Ernest, give me your bread and butter. Now, it had to be a game or it had to be a play that when they called in the huddle, you say, oh, I get them on this play right here. It had to be what play was it in this robbery that you knew that you could get Florida on? I mean, get Georgia.
Yeah, what I always tell, people, in being a running back at Universal, Florida during that time was, pretty unique. So you was always chomping at the bit, to really get the opportunity to, impose our will in the running game. A lot of, it was a lot of, pro style, kind of play action, man. But, when we got to kind of go to our blast series, and I knew I would always get the ball, in kind of situations, whether it's short yard or goal line, I always just felt like I could, go get it, man. But, when you're playing against the University of Georgia, man, the entire defense were all pro players, man. Like if I go back to one of those games, man, you can look at pretty much every position, and starters on that team spent time in the league, man. You know what I mean? So, but I always felt good that when Coach gave us a rock that we could make a shake.
A couple more for Earnest Graham, one of the inductees in the 2023 class for the Florida Georgia Game Hall of Fame. We had Danny Werfel on earlier this week,
awesome.
And he was talking about how Spurrier would stick up for you. So we got to go to the story before we turn you loose, just as far as the rivalry games, some of the big hits, all that stuff that went on, the twisting of the knee, all that stuff. I mean, give us just a little bit of a sense of all of that.
You reached down for the knee, Ernest. You did.
Yeah, you talk about Darnell Dawkins.
Yeah.
Just something, a slice of what Spurrier was like in those big rivalry games, and obviously, that.
You know what? Spurrier was, he was just very efficient just as a person. I mean, supremely confident. He just wasn't going to spend much time or something. If you talk to him, hey, my man, all right, have a good, he just, that's just him, very simple. We didn't think about losing. We didn't think about not making the play.
Right.
It was just he's just very matter-of-factly. You know what I mean? When we go to practice, hey, let's go to practice, throw the ball around a little bit, get off the field and go. That's how we kind of went about our business. You know what I mean? So, where you would see, kind of these days, you see, coaches or people really digging in the pregame speeches and really kind of philosophizing and doing the thing. Coach was just, all right, man, we're gonna go out. We got this drawn up. We're gonna hit him over the head and we're gonna go home. That's kind of who he was, man. And I think, we really adopted that personality. It allowed us to play loose.
Right.
In some of the biggest moments because it was just so second nature to him, and we kind of adopted that mentality from him, man. But he definitely would, stick up for you. He'd be out in front, just kind of being the unique personality that he was. But, don't get confused. Coach is a tough cat. You know what I'm saying? And, I just really, really appreciate that about him,
So before we let you go, we always talk about the 96 team, the 06 team, the 08 team, even the 09 team. that 2001
2001,
team was a bunch of dudes. I mean, if you don't get hurt, is that Tennessee game different?
It's different, man. I think you could probably go back during that time, and I used to always, obviously, you watch the old broadcasts, and people say, when we run the ball, or if I was there, 20 plus times, we typically do X, Y, Z, and to not be able to be there and provide that element, that we sorely probably needed to pull that game out. During that time, it was really, it was really, really, really tough. And of course, you just go back and wish you could be there, but it played out the way it.
You would have got another shot at Leon's cane.
You ain't want that smoke. You ain't want that smoke. You ain't want that smoke.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go back. You gotta go back to the Sugar Bowl now. Well, we lost it.
There it is. That part right there.
You know what? You shouldn't brag about a loss, but. Hey, you're going to see that stiff arm come out. You know what I mean?
We were different back then. We were different back then.
Ed Reed, Blades,
okay.
For the 140. I hit him for the 140, you know what I mean?
He did. He had 140 in that game.
Okay.
They don't forget. That's awesome.
No, we never forget.
All right, congratulations. Yeah. We definitely love the fact that you're in the Hall of Fame with the recognition, continued success, and we know that you got family members that maybe attended the University of Florida before you know it.
That's right.
So keep it rolling.
All right, brother.
All right.
Y'all.